a staff member here at the Dig, and today we're going to go over some body techniques and stuff for those Iowa Derby cars. We have a few different things. You can make your body out of anything you want, as long as it stays under the weight limit. 20 ounces is the overall weight limit of your vehicle. That includes wheels and axles. So it's really important to make sure that whatever you use, you make sure it's light enough or you can hollow it out enough to make it worth it. Personally, I'm using basswood because it's a light wood, but it's taking a lot of hollowing. It's taking a lot of time. So take that into consideration when you're doing yours. You can see on the bottom, I'm hollowing it out a little bit more. Just to lower this weight so I can add some scaffolding and renew my axles and not go over the weight limit. But you can do it out of anything. It doesn't even have to be one solid piece. It can be multiple small pieces if you'd like. A few people expressed an interest in 3D printing their bodies, which is 100% okay. That's within the rules. You don't have to use wood. You can even use metal if you just want to make pipe cleaners, like some people are considering fabrics. Whatever you want to do, you can do. Just as long as you know it's what you want it to be, as well as, again, within the rule set. Now, if you do 3D print something, we have to make sure that you bring in an STL file with it in case they ask you to prove that you made that design. We don't want anyone copying or borrowing someone else's design, so it has to be an original to yourself. But if you're going to use wood like I did, I purchased this. We're going to supply some. I recommend making it in multiple smaller pieces and assembling them just for ease and weight. If you do use one large piece, make sure its overall size is big enough. So I think the car's width can't be bigger than 4 inches, can't be any longer than a foot. There's no height limit though, so you can keep that in mind. You can have a very tall vehicle if you want. That's not an issue, as long as it weighs the right amount. And there's no minimum weight either. So if you make your car just barely big enough and you just want one flat piece, you can. It doesn't matter, as long as you can. You're under the weight limit, we don't mind. And now you don't have to go up to 20 ounces either. It can be lighter. If you do use one piece like I did though, when I used the wood shop, I used a combination of saws and different tools to get it down to shape. The best suggestions I have is cutting out the general shape. So you do is you'll kind of have to envision what size and everything you want your vehicle to be in shape-wise, and then you'll do some measurements and mark it on the block, and then cut the top pieces and stuff and whatever, so like get the rough shape of it pretty much. And then you can have to use some smaller hand tools and get some finer products. With this one, it was a lot of chiseling, just because of the kind of wood it was and the different angles I wanted to be at. I had a chisel. But you can run these things through saws, but also remember there are restraints to what you can use on certain pieces, certain tools and stuff in there. We have like a height limit on the bandsaw that you can run things on, just because it's a safety issue. So just kind of be considerate and think about that when you're designing what you're doing. And again, this is all for fun. If you're not going for speed, you can make anything you want. If you are going for speed, obviously still make anything you want as long as it's within the rules. And I'm just gonna be here. We can talk about designs if you all want, or ideas you have. I can give my recommendations. I'm most experienced in the wood shop compared to anywhere else in the building for myself. Other people are a little bit more experienced, especially like staff members on some of the 3D printers, or laser cutters, things like that. I know enough to help you out, but also I'm not going to be doing the design for you. I'll just be helping you with any ideas you may have.